I'm making this quick video. I'm in the dark. I'm in my tent. I'm actually about to go to bed. My lights are dying, but I just watched a video about how persons with ADHD can kind of accommodate themselves to help them not procrastinate, which it really isn't procrastinating, making a deliberate choice to put something off. It has to do with dopamine delivering. It made me, it got my savant brain going, and why it's inherently ableist to call these conditions disorders is because the only time we have a problem with communication and connection is when we're with other people who are what we call neurotypical. I've been in enough Asperger's autism support groups to know that when you get a bunch of Aspies in a room together, nobody has any problem with connecting or communicating. Matter of fact, it was one of the most remarkable experiences ever, because as soon as I opened my mouth, they were already right there in their brains with me. They already knew exactly where I was going, and as soon as I finished speaking, they picked up where I left off and took it somewhere else. Ain't no neurotypical can do that. So basically, most of us, and including the licensed clinicians who are on the autism spectrum in our support groups, have determined we are just the next step on the evolutionary chain. And people who aren't on the spectrum, we have a problem. We can't communicate. We can't connect with you. You got a disorder. No, motherfucker, you're the problem. You can't fucking keep up. So if you are isolating your kid, that's why we really, besides all these farms that you're going to create for people in recovery, there needs to be support groups and true non-ableist studies of persons on the spectrum. They have to be run by persons on the spectrum who are looking at it from a non-biased and non-ableist perspective of us being the problem. We have special needs. We're developmentally disabled. We've got a disorder. We can't socialize with people. We can't connect with people. Fuck, we can't. We can't connect with idiots. People on the lower end of the intellectual food chain. And the fact that the only time we have a disorder is when we're surrounded by idiots, guess what? We're not the ones with the problem. The fact that we can go into a room full of other people on the spectrum, regardless of their various personal affects, we have issues because we're forced to deal with the idiots that aren't on the spectrum, the lower end of the intellectual food chain, the non-evolved. See what I'm saying? So, I'm not just and AA, you can read study after study that says most of the people in NA or NA are very, very intelligent. They're the most intelligent people. In fact, I was neighbors with a lady in Arizona back in 1992, and she did work. She used to work in prisons, give IQ tests, and she said many of them, a lot of the people in prisons, were some of the most had the highest IQs of more than anybody. Well, why are they in prison? Because we're not given. We're called disorder. We're called crazy. We're called violent. We're called this. We're called that. And then everybody looks at us like we're assholes and predators when it's really them. And we're not, I mean, little kids of color aren't getting to go to the gifted and talented school. They're called oppositional defiant and put in a behavior disorder, and then the medical records and education records are falsified systemically, and social services records, they end up in juvenile, and then they end up in prison. They're gaslit all their fucking life. Who wouldn't have a fucking problem? So any issues that they have that lands them in NA or AA is trauma. Not that all the people in NA and AA are, or Al-Anon are all on the spectrum. Many of them are just injured neurotypicals who didn't, were fed, they injured on the job, then they were fed OxyContin or Darvocet or Tramadol or Duract or Vioxx or Celebrex or any number, or gabapentin, all these big pharma drugs. Their lives were ruined, and they're just trying to cope one step at a time. So that's my 2 cents on that. So I'm not, anybody asks me if I have any mental health issues or disabilities or disorders, I'm going to say no. Because it's propagandist, ableist horseshit. Classist, elitist. It's a way for the upper class to keep us in our place and steal our intellectual property so they can, plagiarist Joe Biden likes to plagiarize everybody's shit. And Denzel Washington and the other assholes who worked on that movie Roman J. Israel. And all the other movies they've plagiarized off my fucking story, fuckers. So yeah, that's another reason why AA isn't backing down. Because they basically stole when they made that movie Roman J. Israel, they didn't just steal my story, they stole the story of the other people in AA too that have been helping me. Because in the movie, the one guy dies and he ends up going to work for a new attorney, just like I did. Only I went to work for new attorneys. They weren't really new. They were other attorneys who were helping me while Chad was helping me. And then he fucking threatened us all. They sugarcoated the whole thing and twisted it and spinned it. But you see what I'm saying. So that's why they're not going to back off it. They'll accept help and they'll help Bobby and Hochul, but they're not going to, that's why I can't speak for them. They have their own rights. Their lives, Chad threatened all of us before I ever left his house. That's why they had me recording him on that little digital recorder. Some little digital micro recorder. So, they've got and I'm going to assist them. They've kept me alive. I'm damn sure gonna assist them, and not just the lawyers, the nurses, the doctors, the students, everybody. So it isn't just about me, it's about all of them. They've got their own potential work comp claims, plus all the other people in AA, just in general, and that's globally. So, yeah, this isn't, it isn't, you kill me doesn't mean that AA case goes away. No, there's still going to be a whole lot more who have their own cases against Orlando PD, Buffalo PD, Phoenix PD, DHS, FBI, DOJ, because Bill Barr was in it. They're sitting back and watching, and they're waiting. And you may never know their identities. They may, because they're attorneys, they got friends who are attorneys. They're feeling everybody out, everybody around them, to see who is responding and how. And they'll have to go out to dinner with them. What do you think about this Trump shit? What do you think about this Hunter Biden shit? And if they act sympathetic in any way, shape, or form, or they challenge them, and then they want to be sycophants, then they know that they can't trust them to take their Florida work comp case. So that's kind of where we're at.